with the upper deck empty and the lower bowl over half empty, and from the crowd shots or lack thereof, and how they took some more ceiling shots on their cover pitches, did they have 3,000 people?
I'm going to see what we can find out, but since you brought it up here, let's talk about it. Multiple shots, once again, of the ceiling, as opposed to just shooting a few fans talking to each other. Anything. Yes. They shoot the ceiling, a moving shot.
Find a cute child, for sake, if you can't do anything else.
Yeah, instead they do a moving shot of the ceiling. That helps.
But anyway, and Justin Roberts, the illegitimate son of Jake Roberts, was in the ring introducing immediately the world title eliminator match between Samoa Joe and Dustin Rhodes. And this is the deal where if Dustin beats him in a non-title match, then he gets a title match. And okay, fine, but Joe is coming out the entranceway and Swerve tackles him and spears him through a table. And the referees come out and tells, "Oh, Swerve, you got to leave. And now that you've committed this horrible, aggravated mayhem." And so the announcers are confused. What do we do? What do we do? And they're doing this to, oh my God. And I understand, and I like, and I have done many times, oh shit, folks, something's happened here. This disrupted our broadcast. We've got to consult with the director of the truck, whatever. But this was articulated by a sockface in such a stagey, amateurish, and/or markish way that you didn't believe it. And then Tony grunts, and I think Taz rolls his eyes, and and Zeppo becomes their agent when he gets off camera.
Hey, by the way, Jim, this is not necessarily a final count, but as of yesterday, Jim, according to WrestleTix, AEW Dynamite had 2,971 tickets distributed.
And that's distributed, not necessarily that everybody took them up on it, as we've come to find out in the past when we've looked at these things closely. Well, anyway, so the thing that they go to, but now bear in mind, they've just had a hot angle with the world champion and the number one challenge. I guess he's number one challenge. The guy everybody wants to see him win it from him. And they've got the biggest audience of the night because the first quarter is always the biggest audience of the night. This is not like a revelation either. So what do? They just pitch, well, let's go to this. And it's the tape of Trent turning on Pockets and splitting up the best friends or whatever from the other night. After an angle with the main event guys in the highest rated quarter hour, they go to the fucking underneath comedy. What the fuck? And Renee Moxley Good that is standing there talking about the implosion of the best friends for 30 seconds and goes back to more baffled announcers. And I'm like, they can't pull off like they know what they're doing, so they can't pull off working like they don't know what they're doing when they actually allegedly know what they're doing. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but you say this is coming off the top angle with the guy that people want to win the title, and they do. Doesn't that even seem cooled off from what it was just a few weeks ago? The whole idea people were excited to see Swerve win the belt. Is anyone talking about that?
Well, no, because they may have missed the time where people were kind of interested, but also everybody else is, shaking their heads at all the drama and the goofiness now of what they know, the fans know, because the company is telling them on and off television what the Bucks are doing with their goofiness and the pettiness, and the ostrich is going to bow up at Triple H here in a little while. And I'm with a lot better material and delivery than Maddie and Nikki, but still, I know Will can just go back home to England to across the pond when this thing implodes, but he doesn't have to work for or with Triple H. But some of these guys that live over here might want to fucking watch out.
But again, no one's really talking about Samoa Joe, the world champion. No one's talking about his thing with Swerve anymore. For a while, that was the only thing on the show people were talking about. And then the big Trent heel turn You know, it would be like if in 95, Butch turned on Luke. Who gives a shit?
No, honestly, I think that would have gotten a lot more emotional response. Think about it. Especially think of the children.
Does he turn back into like a sheep herder? Does he go crazy?
No, yes, he would go back all the way back to the fucking Kiwi sheep herders, the old days. But anyway, the point is, I think they think that everybody is going to watch this show waiting to see what they have advertised in a roundabout way. And they're still billing it that way. Unseen security camera footage of All In Wembley backstage. They can't even mention Punk's name. They are alluding to something that they're thinking they're going to draw a ratings number off of, or somehow they've sold Tony. Somebody, wink wink, has sold Tony. Oh, it'll be big ratings. And they can't even mention the guy's name that they're going to try to draw the rating off of. And they can't come out and say it's the incident where CM Punk choked out Jack Perry. They just have to. So they've been advertising for 4 days, starting in the middle of the night, security camera footage from backstage at All In of an incident. The fuck?